So urgency, what do you want to fucking do, and what the fuck are you going to do about it, and when the fuck are you going to do it? Urgency, you want to talk about urgency? Because people just don't have urgency, right? Everybody has good ideas. You have the good idea fairies, right? They're always throwing you these ideas, but when you look at them, there's no reason for you to listen to them, right? Because when you look at their social media or you look at them, right? It's the dude at the gym that's the big fat guy giving you advice, right? It's the person telling you how to do shit, but there's no evidence that they fucking have done anything themselves. Urgency, right? Everybody's got the ideas. The difference between people that do things and have success is that they took those ideas and they put them into motion. And usually is immediately, right? You have to immediately put it into motion, and if you don't, it's just not going to happen. I have all kinds of great ideas for artwork, but if I don't immediately take that phone and send it to 2 or 3 of my art guys or ideas to friends, if I don't send that to Amanda, my wife, for instance, it's already out of my head because boom, 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 right? I'm just chasing all these ideas, or I'll have some influence for something else. I'll see some design and I'm like, hey, this is super cool. We should take this theme and change it into our thing and do something along these lines, right? But I've already forgotten the thing that was right ahead because I didn't urgently take that and send it to somebody else and delegate authority or relinquish possession of it. It's just the urgency. So I always send it to Brandel, I send it to Austin, I send it to Jason, and I'm like, here is this thing, and these are the words that I want. And usually at some point, this usually happens super early in the morning or super late at night when I am in my head alone. And when people see that, usually the next morning, they'll be like, hey, what do you want me to do with this? Hey, let's take this, let's put it on shirt, put it on hoodie, give me artwork that I can use for patch, which I can also use for beanie, and at the same time, we'll send it to sticker. Now, render the artwork, give me the vectors on it. I'm gonna send it out for patches, that takes the longest. Don't use this art for 2 weeks. That'll give me time to have embroidery done, and it'll give me time for patches, it'll give me time for stickers. Then let's go to print. So let's run the one from 2 weeks ago this week. Don't use this one till next week. But I've already conveyed that to them, and it usually happens at 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the morning. So as long as I have those, we have this big flood wall of work. And it's the same thing with ideas, right? If you're writing, most of your stuff comes to you when you're in the shower or when it's very inconvenient to write it down. You don't have to write shit anymore. You can just voice to text it. And then I can take that and just hit send in a messenger app and just tag the people that I want the message dispersed to. It's urgency. And if you don't move with urgency, you're never gonna move. There's so many dudes talking about, hey, I'm gonna start this company, or I'm gonna do that thing, but they have no plan as to how they're gonna do it. And you know, when you talk to dudes and they give you this idea, hey, I had this idea. Well, what have you done with it? And the dude that's like, well, I've already built this prototype out of balsa wood, right? It's the knife maker dudes. And I always use this as an example because I had a knife shop in my shop, right? Those dudes were always moving, always evolving. Like they bought a CNC machine that we couldn't even put in the building. Like they owned a CNC machine. We had to remove the wall completely to get it in the building. And then there was no power. Like we couldn't power it. We had to run completely different power. So they ended up buying this in this industrial complex, these storage units, and they bought it and knocked down walls, and that was Strider Knives, right? They owned a CNC machine for 2 years before they could ever even turn that CNC machine on. But when I got with those guys, it was making knives, right? Everybody learning to make knives. If you're waiting to go buy a CNC machine and buy a heat treat machine and do all this shit, you could have been making knives 3 years earlier just with a chop saw and a belt grinder and just the shittiest equipment from Harbor Freight. You can make a knife. It might not be the best knife, but you can make it. You can learn how to control that grinder. You can learn how to do stock removal. You can learn which blades are gonna throw shit all over you versus pay the extra money and buy the $200 blade that never throws shit all over you. It's way safer and it actually lasts fucking 10 times longer, right? But you're not gonna know that because you're busy talking about building knives, but you've never fucking cut a piece of metal, right? So urgency, what do you want to fucking do, and what the fuck are you going to do about it, and when the fuck are you going to do it? Stop saying what you're going to do and just fucking do it. Guys always say these ideas and I'm like, hold on, do you own the URL to that? What do you mean? The fucking website, dildo. Do you own the fucking website? If you don't own the website, stop fucking saying it. Guys that sew come in here and tell me things. Guys that sew, we talk back and forth and I'm like, hey, check it out. He's like, radio, my buddy, Andrew, he's like, radio back. I'm like, don't even fucking bring it in here because we're building a radio backpack and I don't want to see your radio backpack and have my radio backpack look the same or look like he's like, I don't care. It's a radio backpack. Look at my backpack, look at my back. And it's a pretty badass backpack Andrew made. But don't tell me, because at the same time I'm working on some stuff out of necessity. Some guy in Australia is going to build both light bulbs might have been fucking invented at the same time on opposite sides of the world when there was no communication, right? So I always tell guys, if you got an idea that's really good, don't tell fucking people, because what you're going to find when you pull that thread and unravel it, because your lazy ass didn't go get the URLs and the .com and the .net and set up the store and do all these things, what you're going to find is some other asshole that heard you say it, they bought it, and they're just going to fucking squat on it. That happens all the fucking time in every aspect of life. Keep your mouth shut, move in silence, and once you're ready to go, show it to people, because it's almost always somebody that you called a friend that is going to take that fucking idea from you or tell somebody else. You would be surprised, in business for 35 years, the people who've done the shadiest shit were always people that had slept on my couch or I knew the names of their kids. It wasn't a fucking stranger. It was somebody within the inner circle always that did shit like that. Move in urgency, move in fucking silence, and just fucking do things. Then bring it together once you have it ready to bring to market. But stop telling people you're going to do shit when you're known for not doing anything. Urgency. Fucking figure some out. If it's not important enough for you to do it in an important manner, then shut the fuck up. Stop getting in people's conversations, right? What is important in your life? Look around, right? Look in the mirror. Look at your bank account. Look at your spouse. What the fuck is important in your life? Most people, when you're like, what's important? They couldn't even fucking identify it. Pokemons. Dungeons and Dragons, and they look like motherfuckers that play Dungeons, and I'm sure there's some cool motherfucker out there that plays Dungeons and Dragons. I know, I used to have a fucking greasy ass haircut and a members only jacket with grease stains on the back. I know, there's some dude right now that's the coolest motherfucker in the world slaying all the pussy, and he's still wearing the members only jacket, and he's got his little lead fucking animals, and he ain't even fucking painted them. Do something that's fucking important and move like something's important to you, right? When you walk through the door, people should be like, oh, that dude's doing important shit. He's on a mission. And if that's not you, I feel sorry for you.